SAP 2000 offers a powerful utility named Section Designer for the creation of any type of frame section. These sections may be used for both analysis and design within SAP 2000. The Section Designer utility is accessed through the Define Section Properties Frame Sections command. Clicking on the Add New Property button displays the Add Frame Section Property form. Here we select Other from the Frame Section Property type list, and then we can click on the Section Designer button. The base material may consist of any previously defined material property, which identifies the type of design post-processors that will be available, as well as how the section properties will be reported. Selecting a concrete material and then concrete column indicates that the axial loads will be included and that a check or design will be performed. Next, we will activate the Section Designer. Within this utility, we have any number of ways to create different shapes, which may be combined into a single section for SAP 2000. There are various structural sections, typically associated with steel shapes, such as wide flanges and channels. Selecting a section and then clicking on the grid locates the centroid of the shape. A right click on the shape brings up the Shape Properties box, where the material, location, and size may all be edited. There are also several solid shape templates, typically used with concrete sections. Again, a click on the grid locates the centroid, and a right click on the shape brings up the Shape Property box, whereby we can alter the material, location, size, and reinforcing if concrete. There are also templates for California DOT shapes. And lastly, the Draw Poly Shape command, where the user can draw a very arbitrary polygon. Again, this would typically be used for concrete sections. The Shape Properties box allows you to specify the material, and if concrete, whether there is reinforcing. The Reshaper tool allows you to move a shape if you left-click in the interior. As well as to change the geometry of the poly shape by simply dragging the corner points. If you right-click on a corner point, you may input corner coordinates directly. At this point, it should be noted that all three of the drawn shapes constitute a single section, and though one of the shapes is steel, the Section Designer utility will calculate the section properties for the entire grouping based on the equivalent base material, which is concrete. It should also be noted that the XY axes shown are local references for Section Designer and have no connection to the global axes in SAP 2000. For this example, we will create a rectangular beam section, 12 inches wide by 16 inches deep. Reinforcing will be 2 number 8 bars at the top and 2 rows of 3 number 6 bars in the bottom. cover will typically be 1.5 inches, except at the top, where cover over the bars will be 1 inch. We start by going to the Define Section Properties Frame Sections command and adding a Section Designer section. We will name the section SD, and the material will be 4,000 psi concrete. And even though it will be used as a beam, we will select concrete column so that the reinforcement can be checked. Next, we start Section Designer. To draw the beam section, we will use the solid rectangular shape. A right-click brings up the Shape Properties edit box, where we can change the height to 16 inches, the width to 12, and ask for reinforcing. We will enlarge the view to make it easier to work with. Section Designer considers reinforcing to be either edge bars or corner bars. Right-click on one of the edge bars and set the bar cover to 1.5 inches, and then apply to all edges. Note that the corner bars are located by the two adjacent edge covers. Right-click on the top edge bar and set the bar size to none. With a cover of 1 inch. Apply these changes to only this edge. Next, right-click on one of the right edge bars and set the bar size to none. Repeat this step on the left edge bars. Right-click on one of the top corner bars and set the bar size to 8 and apply to all corners. Right-click on the bottom edge bar and set the bar size to number 6 with a spacing of 4.2 inches. Next, right-click on the bottom corner bars and change their size to number 6 as well. The section is complete except for the needed second row of reinforcing in the bottom. This is done with the Draw Reinforcing Shape command, where we can add reinforcing as single bars, a line of bars, a rectangular pattern, or a circular pattern. For this case, we will add a linear pattern. Clicking to start and end the line. Location can easily be adjusted. A right-click on this bar brings up the Shape Properties edit box, where we can type in the exact coordinates of the endpoints of the line. We will also change the bar spacing and size to match the row below and ask that end bars be included. The section is now complete. Under the Display menu, we can ask for the calculated section properties, including the area, moments of inertia, and all of the other generated properties. We can also view the interaction surface, including a 3D view that we can spin around. We can also toggle through the various curves at different angle settings. Section Designer also lets you view the moment curvature curve when you are doing reinforced concrete sections. You may pass the cursor over the curve for specific values. The next step is to send the information back to SAP2000 by clicking on the Done button, and then OK to add the section to the frame properties list. Next, we will assign the Section Designer section to the beams in our model. We are now ready to run the analysis. We will run the analysis with only a dead load case. This includes self-weight and other dead loads. Once the analysis is complete, we can click the Concrete Frame Design Check command to check the reinforcing previously defined. The 4.22 displayed indicates the amount of longitudinal reinforcing in the section, which comes from the two number 8 bars and 6 number 6 bars. A right-click on the section brings up the design information, including the maximum capacity ratio. A click on the Summary button brings up a calculation sheet with all of the detailed values for this beam. Note that the width and depth match that specified in the Section Designer. Design information is also available in a tabular format. This concludes this tutorial on Section Designer.